Fearscape Media Network, exploring the unknown, one podcast at a time.
Fearscape Paranormal Podcast, part of the Fearscape Media Network. Prepare to be spooked. New episodes every Wednesday on all major podcast platforms. Find out more at fearscapepodcast.com.
The SCP multiverse is under constant assault, and destruction can come at any moment. Therefore, having just one database is a folly the Foundation can no longer accept. Join Dr. Kevin Milgram and SCP-073, Kane, as they create an oral history of the SCP Foundation in Memories of Kane, an SCP story, hosted by Daniel Doremus. For should the Foundation fall, the unkillable first murderer of man will live on. New episodes drop every second Wednesday of the month on the Fearscape Media Network. Visit fearscapemedia.com for more information.
Coming to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown, your ghoulish hosts for an evening of terror, Stefan Gearhart and Lance Wayne, the Misters of the Dark.
Good evening, dear friends. Welcome to another terrifying episode of Misters of the Dark. As always, we're beaming directly to you from nowhere, a suburb of parts unknown. I'm your co-mister, the man with no name, Lance Wayne.
And I'm your headmister, Lord Stefan Gearhart.
And you couldn't have arrived at a better time. We're in the middle of winter here at nowhere, and in order to sort of lift our spirits, we thought what better way to celebrate than with a good old BBQ. We have one every year and invite all the villagers, but sadly they never show. I'm not really sure of the reason. I can only guess it's because we spend most of our time butchering them, or they just don't like us.
Hey, Lance, you think it's about time to put another soy through the barbie?
Oh my, I almost forgot. If you would please step in. Stefan and myself only cook with the finest grade A meat. They've happened to provide us with our full spread today. It was, of course, if we ran a commercial on our program for them. So, without any further ado, Sawyer's BBQ. Stefan, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Sawyer's Last Chance Texas Barbecue, located way off of Highway 79 in Round Rock, Texas, ain't your daddy's barbecue. No, you may taste your daddy in it, but it ain't his. No, sir, we've been slow smoking generations of people. I mean, for generations of people here in Texas. People say our barbecue is so good you can taste the soul in it. All of our meat is made from organic meat from all over and is butchered human. Oh, Lord, I mean butchered humanely, and using the finest chainsaw cuts allowed by the FBI. Excuse me, the FDA. Now, no matter what you get, it all tastes like chicken. So if you get lost and you're hungry, you'll find us, or we'll find you. Sawyer's Last Chance Texas Barbecue. It's finger tasting good. Closed on Sundays.
And remember, kids, you too can sell your soul for some spare ribs.
Speaking of soul, I think I happen to see a lost one heading our way.
Ooh, really? Someone's gonna finally risk their life? Excuse me, I mean, join in our Hate Winter Midsummer festivities?
Oh my, and not just anyone. That's horror legend and Texas Chain Saw Massacre star John Dugan.
Oh my God, Grandpa. Oh, thank you so much, John Dugan, for being on Misters of the Dark. Thank you so much for stopping by. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yay!
Yes,
Legend.
The legend. You got to say it like that, Lance. The legend. Or
The legend.
Legendary.
The man. The legend.
The man with a name, John Dugan.
The man with a name. John Dugan.
Oh man, well yeah, obviously we're huge fans, and we thank you, man. You know, we're good friends with Keith Age, and we're always thankful for him for hooking us up with some of the coolest people we've had to meet. With you being at the top of the
Keith
list,
and I
dude.
used to room together on the road back about fucking
Oh, wow.
sorry
12
bastard.
or 13 years ago. I got some stories about that fucking guy.
Oh, I guarantee it. Just in the 2 years I've known him, I've got some stories, man.
What is it?
He's kind of ate up.
Yes, absolutely.
What isn't he the rock? What is it? The rock
and roll ghost hunter?
Yeah, the rock and roll ghost hunter.
Yeah, he thinks because he can play the bass.
Yeah, can't everybody?
Yeah. I tell him all the time. I'm like, oh,
It's like,
wow.
we need a bass player. What? Do you play? No, but I could learn in like a day and a half.
Yeah, really.
Throw a rock in
bass
a bar, you can find a bass player.
Yeah. Is there a bass player in the house? Everybody raises their hand.
Now, my wife is a bass player, but because she's a woman, it's extra cool.
Yeah.
Women bass players are super
Oh
hot.
yeah. There's nothing hotter than a female slap bass player.
Oh,
God
yeah.
almighty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There's this chick from Louisville, I think it's the name of the band is the Creeping Cruds or something like that.
That's my neck of the woods. Yeah, I don't believe I've heard of them.
And she's the Creeping Cruds. No, the Creeping Cruds are Nashville band. However, she plays a big stand-up flat bass, and boy, she's so fucking hot. She like stands on it and plays it at the same time and shit,
Yep.
And she's all tits and ass and everything. It's like, oh my God.
She's got that tab, man. Tits, ass, and bass. Like that's all you need. That's all you need is the tab.
Well,
what's the matter, Lance?
Hey, I just thought this interview.
He's a good old boy. He acts like he's all like rough and rowdy, but he turns beet red real quick.
Yeah.
Turns beet red.
I was raised Baptist, so you have to forgive me.
Yeah, well, my old man was an Irish Catholic, and my mom was a Presbyterian or some shit. So I kind of slipped between the cracks. It's like, no, I ain't going to church.
Your dad slipped between the cracks as well.
What was that stuff?
I said your dad slid between the crack too. That's how you came around.
Oh my God!
Hey, that's my mom you're talking about.
We're just digging with Dugan, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I walked in on them twice, man. They were like fucking jackrabbits.
Man, my parents got divorced when I was 3. And
my mom had 5 children in 11 years.
Oh, she just dropped them. My dad was a single dad, and when I was 3 years old. So this man had a new woman every other week because he was a mobile DJ and all this stuff. So I never walked in on my parents, but I walked in on my dad quite a few times with
your dad
different
was Aunt
people.
Mommy.
Oh, yeah, with Aunt Mommy, exactly. One of his 15 wives.
I think my parents stopped after I was born. So,
well, can you blame them?
Yeah. They've already achieved greatness.
They didn't even give you a name.
They didn't even give me a name.
Please,
they were just like, here he is, world.
We've achieved perfection. Look, there's my dog.
Hey, all right.
Hey.
Well, this is a perfect segue talking about having babies and where you're from and all that, because the first question we wanted to ask you is just, where did you grow up? What was your childhood like?
I grew up in Clay County, Indiana.
Oh, not too far. Yeah, not too far.
Which is Now, Lance, you're from Louisville.
Well,
You guys are from Louisville?
Yeah, I just moved out to Phoenix, and Lance technically lives in Taylorsville.
but I'm in Louisville
yeah.
constantly.
Oh, yeah, Taylorsville. So, don't tell me you drive out Taylorsville Road and you end up in Taylorsville.
Yes, that's exactly. I didn't even know that. How did you?
Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to Taylorsville? Go up here, Taylorsville Road.
And just keep on going.
Yeah, just keep going till you meet a man with no name.
So Clay County is about, maybe 2.5 hours from Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
North, and it's in west central Indiana. So, yeah, you got to go to Indianapolis and make a hard left.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing there. Yeah, near like maybe Bloomington.
And we're about
further.
We were about maybe 20 miles from the Illinois border. So it's that that far west in Indiana, and it's really, really rural. And at the time, it was mostly agricultural and industrial, like mining.
yeah.
Farming and mining. That's all there was there when I was a kid. Then they mined out all the coal and all the gravel and all the clay and all that shit, and everybody just left.
Cool. Well,
that happened quite a bit.
Thanks for letting us rape your land.
yeah.
You're out of a job now.
Welcome to Clay County, where our biggest export is coal.
So, actually, the population of the city has fallen by about 1,000 or 1,500 people since I left.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's just no, the young people just.
Yeah, there's no work. Yeah, a lot
They're
of Eastern
smart.
Kentucky towns are like that too.
They're like me. They got the hell out of Dodge when they got out of high school, which is what I did. I was like, fuck this. I went to Chicago.
Yeah, I love Chicago.
Oh, God, I love Chicago.
Oh, yeah, we're both improvisers. I've performed quite a bit up in Chicago. I mean,
Oh, really?
yeah, improv capital of the world. So
Yeah.
been up there a
Oh,
million
yeah.
times.
Shit, yeah.
And that's why I like about
That's where the Improv Olympics started, I think.
yeah,
isn't it?
Second City kind of technically started in St. Louis, but it's technically still Chicago. But yeah, that's one thing I like about Phoenix. There's a number of different Chicago pizza places that I love that happen to have one or two stores here in Phoenix because, all these old white people like their Midwest stuff that they left behind.
Those retired folks.
Yep. So it works for me because I get
Driving
my
around
Lou
playing
Malnati's
bumper.
and all kinds of good
Playing
stuff.
bumper cars in their gigantic fucking Lincoln.
Oh, big boats. My dad and I always called them boats. And in fact,
God,
my
the people
first
are
car was
scary.
a Lincoln Town car. That was my very, very first car. Was my dad's old boat.
Oh, God.
Yep.
My parents had two of them for a while, a town car and a Mark 8.
Woo! Shit.
Boy,
Good
that
Lord.
Mark was nice.
Yeah.
That Mark was nice, man.
Put a light on the top of your car and pull people over.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I love that fucking car. It actually had the ground hugging effects where the faster you went, the lower to the ground it would get.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Suspension would go down to make you more streamlined and shit.
Yeah.
That was a cool fucking automobile.
Yep. Now, what about when we obviously know you as an actor. So how did you get into film and acting and stuff like that? Especially
I got
coming
into
from
acting
Clay.
in high school, and believe it or not, as I didn't know, I always had sort of a fucking creative,
Bug.
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
or interest. I was always sort of a creative, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no desire to go to college.
Mm. Know how that feels.
I just, I just wanted, once school was over, I just wanted fucking out,
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going to do. And then, but anyway, my junior year in high school, the high school drama club was doing a play, and it was a period piece. It was like, took place in the 1300s or something, like in a castle.
Like Tartuffe.
In a castle in England. It was called The Secret Behind the Walls.
Ooh.
It was a children's play, And this is going to sound so stupid, you guys, but we had heavy, back then, dress codes in public schools in Indiana. You had to dress a certain way. You had to wear a shirt with a collar.
Yeah,
you had
we
to
had
have
to
your
do
hair
that.
cut.
Louisville had done that when I was in high school. They went to a heavy dress code with uniforms and stuff for public schools.
I think that's bullshit.
Yeah,
We were lucky to have clothes in Taylorsville, so I don't want to hear it.
still lucky. We're still lucky to have
Yeah.
shoes in Taylorsville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We still ain't got those moving pictures though.
you got no picture show?
No picture shows. We get Cletus just draw on the side of a building every now and then and tell us stories.
Well, anyway, the head of the speech drama teacher, head of the drama club, and all that stuff. She put out the word that because they always had a hard time getting guys, boys, teenage boys, essentially, to come out, and audition for plays, So a lot of times, the high school plays, girls had to play the men parts and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Because guys, it was just pussy stuff.
Yeah, it was too cool. Yeah.
No, I'm going to play football. Even
opposite
though
of Shakespeare, where it was the men all playing the women part.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Totally the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way my high school was too.
She put out the word that any boy who got cast in this play wouldn't have to have his haircut for like 6 weeks or 2 months.
Yeah.
And she had the biggest turnout for auditions ever.
Oh, I bet, especially at that time. Yeah, for sure.
And, it was 1969.
So,
wow.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
69. It was 68, maybe 68 or 69. And so a whole bunch of us showed up. She was very pleased with the turnout. Anyway, I got the lead role.
Oh,
that's great.
And once the curtain went up on opening night, I was hooked.
Oh, you got the acting bug, huh?
Yep.
That was it. I thought, this is something I can do, and I'm pretty goddamn good at it.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar to my story too. Yeah.
And then my girlfriend at the time was applying to art schools in Chicago, and she had a catalog for the Art Institute of Chicago. And in the back of it, I was flipping through it. In the back of it, there was a thing, 3 or 4 pages about the theater school at the Art Institute, which was the Goodman School of Drama.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, I didn't even know theater school was a thing,
Yeah.
So I applied, and I got an audition, and I drove to Chicago and spent the entire day auditioning. It was a whole day audition.
Oh, man.
Most of it was improvising.
Oh,
Chicago.
and then once we were all comfortable and improvised all these things, we did our pieces, our audition pieces, and then they had us doing our pieces and improvising on that. I mean, it was a really cool audition. Anyway, I was accepted.
Awesome.
Cool.
100 people out of several thousand people in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I know the school you're talking about. Yeah, it was a pretty amazing school. So
Yeah, and so I did 3 years there. Anyway, that's how. Does that answer your question?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did want to tell you a story.
My hair look terrible.
No,
No,
it looks
but
great. Looks great.
Speaking of hair, I got to tell you a story because you'll appreciate this. So this was 68 or 69 as well. My dad is from a small town in Michigan, and he's probably about the same age as you because he graduated in 1969 from high school. And
I graduated in 71.
so you guys are pretty similar age. So he's like this. He said this is like 68 or 69. And there was a guy in town that had long hair. And of course, everybody wanted to have long hair, of course, and stuff like that as well. But the father of this high school kid, he had just graduated high school and his dad hated it. His dad hated that he had long hair. So he told everybody in the small town that he would pay anybody $50. And this is 1968, $50, anybody that could cut his son's hair. And so everybody started carrying scissors in their back pockets, like all the dads around the town and everything like that.
Oh, good God.
This poor guy was getting chased all over Holly, Michigan, like for months, like everybody trying to catch him and hold him down to cut his hair.
What a fucking terrible thing to do to your own child.
Yeah. And he was 18 at the time. Like he was allowed to have the long hair. He could do whatever the hell he wanted to.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, that's one of my favorite stories my dad tells. He's like, yes, you know, that ever because $50.
Oh, I'll tell you, on a similar note, I don't know if you've seen that thing with the dad who his son gets caught shoplifting or lying or doing some minor kid thing, you know. It's about a 10-year-old boy. And to teach him a lesson, his dad takes him to the barber. Has his hair cut in male pattern baldness. So he looks like a 10-year-old old bald man.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
That's the funniest goddamn thing.
Oh man, that sounds like something my dad would have done, man.
Oh God, isn't that funny?
Well, that's a good segue.
It's visual, though. I mean, you have to really see this thing. It's so goddamn funny.
But speaking of old men, that's a good segue into you were in this movie called Texas Chain Saw Massacre. Do you?
Oh yeah.
Never heard of it.
Finally got around to that. Didn't we?
Never heard of it. We could talk about haircuts all day.
Yeah. As long as somebody's getting cut, you know, people be
yeah, no shit.
But yeah, you were in we gotta get to it. You were at
I was 20 years old. I was doing a children's play at the Goodman Theater for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Called Taradiddle Tales. 2 shows a day, 6 days a week, like $175.
Gotta love children's theater, man.
Like, what is that? Like $12 a show or some shit?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
It's not much better. I worked for a theater company doing children's shows, and we got paid like $25 a show.
Whoa!
This was only like
Stefan.
8 years ago, yeah.
Jesus. I tell them, what's the point?
Exactly.
Might as well don't give me anything.
Yeah.
Why should make me pay to do this job? But and Kim Henkel called. Kim was married to my sister, the writer-producer of Chain Saw.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And he called me and said, "Hey, John, man, you crazy?" Remember, this was 1970s. I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm crazy." So anyway, he told me what he needed me to do for him, and I went the next day and put my notice in on the play. And the producer, Bella Itkin, who was an old Russian immigrant woman from a long line of Russian theater people.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know,
I'm sure.
Her father was a Russian theater artist, and she just grew up in the business at the time. And she had one eye that always kind of went off one direction. There was always a little bit of custard coming out of
Oh man! Can you pass me that bottle?
So she said when she asked me what the role was, and I told her about the grandpa role, she said Roddy McDowall would have never done Planet of the Apes if he had not been an established actor first.
Yeah, I have that written down.
We have that, looking at that quote right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got compared to Roddy McDowall right off the bat.
Yeah, take it.
Hey.
And then, when the film came out, Roger Ebert, who I knew, because Chicago and all that. I didn't know him before that, but afterwards I met him and knew him pretty well. But when he wrote the review for it, and he was a huge fan of Texas Chain Saw Massacre.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
he usually hated horror films.
He liked good films.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big fan, and he referred to my character to me as Grandpa as being like Dustin Hoffman's character of old Joe or whatever in Little Big Man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, in a matter of 2 or 3 years, I got compared to Malcolm McDowell and
jeez,
Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So the first time I met Ebert was on New Year's Day, 19. Fuck me.
I don't remember that year.
So,
wish I would have lived in that decade.
it must have been 75. It would have been New Year's Day of 75, and we everybody who'd woke up on the floor of this party at Charlie's apartment, which was a great apartment.
Mm-hmm.
His nickname was the Senator. But he had this great apartment, and he threw fucking wild ass parties. So about 6 of us woke up, different couches and chairs and the floor, laying in front of the fireplace, that sort of shit. So we all start rousing, the people who were left behind and just crashed there. We all start rousing. We drink whatever beer's left in the fucking refrigerator. It's fucking 10 o'clock on New Year's Day in the morning. And it's like, we need to go do something. So what was her name? Betty, Dirty Betty, we called her.
Is this story real?
Yeah, this is a real story.
I read this in Penthouse. Come on now.
But I can't. Yes. I've never written a letter like this before, but let me tell you about Dirty Betty.
Sounds like a country song.
I was a virgin of 15 when I met Dirty Betty.
On a cool summer's morning.
Yeah. No, so anyway, she was like the only one of us who had a car. There was Big Al Cochran, Dirty Betty, me, and Billy Abel, and I think maybe Gail Mitchell. So we all hop in this jalopy that Betty has, and we head out to find a place that's open to get a drink. You know? We decide to go to O'Rourke's, which is a famous Irish pub on North Avenue in Chicago, in Old Town. And we walk up, we find a parking spot, and the streets are deserted. You know, it's like noon on New Year's Day. And we walk up there, and there's a sign on the door that says closed for private party. I'm like, oh, fuck. And Bill Abel just takes the sign off the door, tears it up, throws it on the ground. So much for that. And we walk in, you know. So we're sitting there, and they had free pitchers of black velvets on the bar, which is Guinness with champagne. Mm-hmm. God almighty. Woo! What a day! But there was just beer pitchers of this stuff on the bar. You grab yourself a glass and fill it up.
Yeah.
And I noticed Roger Ebert sitting at the bar. So I get up, I take a big slug, get up my courage, and go over to say, Mr. Ebert? He goes, yes. I said, I'm John Dugan. He goes, that name sounds familiar. I said, yeah, I played, no. I said, I'd like to thank you for comparing to me to Dustin Hoffman. And he said, I didn't realize I'd done that, John. I said, yeah, I played Grandpa in the Texas Chain Saw Massacre. And he went, no shit. I love your part. And we talked for quite a while. And then Bill Abel, who was just trashed at this point. Well, he was trashed when he woke up, I think. But right. I could see him looking kind of cross-eyed, one eye, hand over one eye, head tilted sideways, trying to focus. He sees I'm talking to Roger Ebert, and he comes over and goes, aren't you Roger Ebert, the famous reviewer? And Ebert goes, yes, I am. And he goes, review this, and drops his fucking pants in the bends over and gives him a huge fucking moon, dolls, balls dangling and everything from behind it. So I was like, oh goddamn, and the bartender runs around from behind the bar, and we all fucking gather up our shit and run out the goddamn door.
Oh. So did he write a review?
Oh yeah, he had. He'd written a review. He'd already written a review. Oh no, of that?
Yeah,
of that?
Yeah, of his ass.
Bill Abel's asshole?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to see what he had to say.
I want to know if he gave it a thumbs up.
I want to give him a thumbs
up his ass.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh.
Well, I heard you also worked as a grip and production assistant.
Yeah, I can't even get to it.
Yeah, I did. What? What's the matter there, Lance?
How did you go from Bill Abel's asshole? I don't know how to segue.
So, Bill Abel's asshole. I wonder if he's still alive.
Him or his asshole?
He'd be. Remember, man, it's not the hole that counts; it's the skin around it. Just.
Now I know what I'm going to.
You know what? I used to say that to people, those redneck fuckers that I grew up with, when they call me a little asshole. There was always a little involved. Mm-hmm. Shut up, you little asshole. I'd always respond with, remember, it's not the hole that counts, it's the skin around it. They'd always go like, what? What the fuck you mean by that, man? What the fuck? And then my friends start laughing, and they're like, what? What's so funny? What the hell? What?
No, I know I'm gonna have them.
I've always like fucking with dumbasses, you know.
So great.
Where was I? Oh yeah, I worked. I also on Texas Chain Saw Massacre. You know, I did grip work and production assistant work. I was out there quite a bit when I wasn't really scheduled to work, but I wanted to learn about the filmmaking process. You know, it was my first film.
Well, and you worked?
No, actually, I'd done a video for a insurance company, a training video.
Tell us.
But it was my first feature film.
Well, I mean, you were learning from one of the masters, Toby Hooper. I mean, that had to be a.
Well, no, actually, fucking Daniel Pearl.
Go.
Yeah, he was a true genius on that fucking show. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
all the cinematography.
Toby was okay.
Yeah. Toby's all right. He just tells people what to do.
Yeah, but he was there's no love lost between me and Toby, or pretty much anybody in the original cast and Toby.
Oh, really? Wow.
He he made his career off Texas Chain Saw Massacre, and he did not give any one of us a leg up in the business. Didn't hire any of us after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for Jim Seedow. Jim Seedow is the only one that he hired after us because he kind of had to.
Right.
You know, because everybody else was either dead or was wearing heavy makeup. So.
Yeah.
And the last time I saw Toby was at the lot at Lorimar Productions, which was the old Warner Brothers lot in Burbank. And I had made an appointment with him to talk to him about doing Salem's Lot. You know, he directed the miniseries, Salem's Lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my agent in LA had said, "There's Toby Hooper's directing Salem's Lot. This has just been announced. I got the breakdown of all the roles, and there are like 3 roles that are really good for you in here because I looked really, really young, and there were a lot of teenagers, in that film, and so I made an appointment to see him, and I made it over there and drove over there, and then made it onto the lot. Then went to his office, and he wasn't there. Of course.
Well,
are they ever? But so I'm used to waiting. But his sister was like, "John, he'll be back anytime now." He went to lunch. And this is before the days of cell phones. You know, this was 1977, 78, something like that.
Yeah.
And so I sat. And, 15 minutes later, she goes, "Sorry, John, he should be here any second." And I waited another 15, 20 minutes. I probably waited 45 minutes. And she goes, "John, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened to him." I said, "It's okay. It's not your fault." I got to leave, and I got about halfway to my car, and there he was, standing in the middle of the lot talking to somebody. And I walked up behind him and said, "Hey, Toby." He turned around and looked at me, and I said, "We had an appointment, a 1 o'clock appointment?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, John. Yeah. I'm sorry about that. Listen, I gave a thought to this, and, the only thing good for you in this film was as a $50 a day extra." Jeez. And I didn't figure,
oh, man.
Be a $50 a day extra, would you? And I said, "Fuck no, I wouldn't. Thanks a lot." And I walked away, and that was the last time I talked to him.
Yeah, fuck that, man. I mean, legit.
Yeah, he was a jackass. I mean, a total fucking coke out jackass.
Yeah, I've definitely
Did I say that out loud?
No, you're not the only one. I've heard rumors for sure. But I mean, hands down.
Well, let me tell you something about the cocaine use. if you really want to get down and dirty with those,
Let's do it.
I went to see one time in his office. His first office, he and Kim's first office at Universal was one of those old Quonset hut buildings at Universal.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like it looked like an old military barracks or something,
Yeah.
It was really long and narrow. So his desk, there was like nothing in there except a big desk and 2 chairs and like a fake plant,
Yeah.
in the corner. So he had to walk about 50 yards from the door over and sit down next to his desk, and he's behind this huge desk. So I'm talking to him about it. I was trying to get to the young actors program there or something. They were actually back then, they were starting to go back, try having a stable of contract actors.
Yeah.
They were putting together a group of contract actors like had been done back in the 40s or whatever.
Yeah.
They were trying to bring that back. And I was trying to get involved in that program. And so I went to him for help. And so as we're sitting there talking, he opens up the top drawer of his desk and he pulls out like a cosmetic jar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That big around,
Jeez.
full of cocaine.
Good Lord.
And gets out a spoon, takes a couple of huge hits in each nostril, then puts it back in his desk without offering.
What a motherfucker, right there.
What a jerk.
What kind of an asshole, what kind of a cocksucker does that?
Yeah, and that's the moral of the story for sure. Can't give a guy a leg up and can't hook anybody up with some coke.
They don't even give you a fucking spoon.
Yeah, you at least get a reach around. I mean, come on.
Not even a line, not even just a little spoonful. But and then when I got hired to do Rock, Paper, Scissors with Tom Holland as a director, I got a call from Tom Holland, and nobody wanted me. But Victor Miller and Carrie Fleming, the 2 writer-producers of the film, wanted me. They insisted on me. Tom didn't want me because it was a very important role, and at first they had me on just as an extra, and then I had signed all the paperwork. No, I had gotten all the paperwork and hadn't signed it yet. I just gotten it, and I got a call or a message from the casting director, Megan Mara. And she said, "Don't sign that, John. Hold on. Things have changed." And I thought, oh God, I've been shit canned before I even started this.
Before you even started, yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Just hold tight." She just hold me about a half an hour later. She goes, "John, they want you to, there's been a change." I thought, here it comes. I said, "What?" I said, "They want you to play Uncle Charles." I was like, "Uncle Charles?" Okay. Like a major character, really major supporting character role in the film. And have you seen it? You guys seen it?
I have. I'm a big Michael Madsen fan, so I always try to.
Yeah.
That's how I stumbled across it.
I got a Michael Madsen story for you too.
Oh man.
I better not tell it.
He had a jar of coke
because he's not dead yet.
No, he's not. He's not.
But so I get this phone call from Tom Holland. At the time, I didn't know that I didn't know who the director was on the film. I wasn't privy to that information or anything. I just had the script.
So you didn't think you were going to be another, Chucky doll or anything, right?
And I didn't know Tom was the director. And I get a call, which I'd missed, but I get a message saying, "Dugan, Tom Holland here." On my mobile. Call me on my landline. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh shit, Tom Holland. And I was totally confused. Why would Tom Holland be calling?
Right.
And I mentioned to Stacy, I said, that was Tom Holland. Now, why would Tom Holland be calling me? She goes, John, this is why she's the woman. John, maybe he's directing Rock, Paper. At the time it was called Rock, Paper, Dead. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So I call him back. And he wants to know, he's really concerned if I can handle the role. I was like, yeah, Tom, I can handle it. You know, I'm an experienced and trained and good actor. I can handle the role. Matter of fact, I'll kick ass at it. Because, I just, you know, I haven't seen, you know, you haven't done a whole lot. And, you know, and I just didn't know. I said, trust me, I can handle it. And so after my first day there in LA, after my first day on set, which of course your first day in town, after you're jet lagged and everything, they schedule all your hardest scenes all 6 a.m. the following morning.
Yeah.
I'm serious. They always do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we got him here. Let's shoot this shit. You know? God damn, man. Give me, you know, a couple of days to work my way. But so we get done with the first setup. They're going to move the lights and the camera and all that stuff. And yeah, it's a really difficult scene. And it's, you know, I met my complete perverted glory in that scene. You know, lusting over a fucking 12-year-old boy in a bathtub, you know.
Oh,
jeez. I felt dirty when I get home from work, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was rough. But you know, you gotta go there.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want real,
yeah.
You know? But so he said, hey John, come here, would you? I was like, oh God. So I walk over to him. I was like, yes, Tom. And he goes, where have you been for the last 40 years?
Oh.
I said, whoa. Guess I've done something right.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get into Toby Hooper's desk to get some coke.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Yeah.
He's got that locked up
Well,
tire in Fort Knox.
I raised a, I raised a daughter. I worked. I do an occasional film. He goes, what have you been playing, like kindly grandfathers and uncles and things like that? And I said, yeah, as a matter of fact, I've been playing uncles and grandfathers and occasional cop. And I said, what, you told me that you'd talk to Toby. Oh yeah, he told me on the phone. I called my friend Toby up to ask about you. And I said, what did Toby tell you? And he goes, well, he told me he didn't really know that much about you. Just the only reason he hired you was because of your stature. This was 2 months after Toby died.
I was about to say, yeah, that's right. That's the same year Toby died.
Son of a bitch.
So fuck him.
The last thing he did before he stepped foot in his fucking grave was to try to get me fired from a fucking job.
Oh my God.
Should have ate him.
What the fuck is the matter with this guy?
Jesus Christ.
So you can see why there's no love lost.
Yeah.
For sure.
There.
For sure.
Completely
100%.
understand. Yeah.
But hey, at least, you got Tom Holland blowing sunshine up your ass. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah, man.
Did you get any cocaine?
loves me.
Did you get any cocaine from him?
No.
No coke from Tom.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
LA has changed so much since I left there in the late 70s. Nobody even offered me any coke.
Yeah, nobody does coke anymore. They just have Epstein kids. So too soon. Too soon.
What the hell's that mean, Stefan?
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Please don't elaborate.
Don't let me.
Send all your hate mail to Stefan Gerhardt.
But speaking of shady things, the the thing that I love the most is that the thing that I found out was that the members of the crew during Texas Chainsaw Massacre didn't even know that you were playing Grandpa, which makes it even better.
No, I'd been there. Yeah, I didn't know until I showed up in the makeup trailer.
So even better, because I'm sure it allowed you to play even harder. Because if I haven't said this yet, you have always been my legit favorite part of that movie since I was a kid was Grandpa. And
Well, thank you.
Yes, it is, in my opinion, it makes me laugh. It makes me scared at the same time. It's disturbing and hilarious, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
I've always
my father, who's not even really like interested in horror films or anything like that, he saw Texas Chainsaw when it first came out, and I asked him about it. I'm a little kid, and I asked him about it, and he's like, well, there's this part where this old man's sucking on this woman's finger. That's the part he described. I'm like, what the hell?
Lifting up and dropping. Oh God,
Yeah.
it's so good. It's so good. And just hearing all these stories about how hot it was and all that stuff, I can't imagine how you made it through that, man. And now finding out Toby Hooper's a dick too. So
Well, yeah. While we're being honest around this time, I heard you say something on an interview. Say something where the writers were trying to come up with a scene to get Marilyn Burns' top torn off. Is that true?
Yeah, that was that was me and Toby and Kim smoking dope over at Toby's apartment one evening. I'll just leave it at that. So we have to. I was like, we got to put a scene in there where we all get to see Marilyn's tits. And Kim was trying to justify it, but he has integrity, so
right. Oh man, but yeah, like that whole scene, that scene with her at the dinner table, the whole thing, and gore never bothered me when I was a kid, and gore was never what bothered me about the film. It was the psychological factor of that entire scene.
No, you know what, Stefan? There's very little gore in the film.
Yeah,
it's all in your head.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene. And then with her running off at the very end, that stuck with me for a long time. But especially that moment with Grandpa, because
people will swear there are two scenes that people swear that they see gore in, which they really don't. And one is when Paul Partain, when Franklin gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
They swear they see him cut in half and all sorts of blood and guts coming out of him and all that stuff. It's all shot from behind in silhouette.
Yeah.
It's all backlit.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's some blood splattering up on Leatherface.
Right.
Some kickback blood, and that's it.
Yeah. Like, what was that like being in that latex and that? 'Cause, I mean, I hear the whole shoot itself was just hotter.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me about Alexandria Daddario. And she is smoking hot.
Yes, indeed.
I got to sit next to her. She sat next to me twice, I think, in the cast van on the way to location.
Mm.
Right out what? Okay, so I'm fanning a little bit. God almighty. So Stacy's making fun of me. Going, and she was right out of the shower. Her hair was so wet and everything. You could smell the shampoo on her and all that. Oh my God. Holy shit. And of course, we were all waiting for her, and she was running like 20 minutes late, and we're all in this fucking boiling hot van.
Mm-hmm.
But because those big vans don't cool down until the AC doesn't work very well until you're driving them down the road.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I had a friend.
It was a big old 13-passenger van,
Jeez.
And everyone's like, God damn it, where is she? She did this twice, 2 days in a row. And she came in and sat down next to me and smiled, looked at me and said, "Sorry, I'm late." And I was like, "Oh, no, it's okay. We haven't been waiting that. We haven't been waiting that long.
You can do
honey.
whatever you want to do."
Yeah, God, yeah.
So
But
great.
Dirty old man.
yeah, I am a dirty old man.
You've earned it. You have earned it.
Yeah,
You started your career as a dirty
Well, you
old
know
man.
what? She's 18 years younger than me, so I guess I am a dirty old man.
Fantastic.
Ooh, my wife's in her late 40s.
Woo, rob that
Ooh,
cradle.
yeah.
Babylicious.
I'm in the middle of a divorce, so.
Hey, I've had 3 of them.
Oh.
Yeah, my dad collects divorces.
Yeah.
What's that,
I
Stefan?
said my dad collects divorces, so yeah. But yeah, so you got to work with her and you got to work with Renee Zellweger, and said that she called you Dugan the cop. Is that the?
Yeah, that's me. Dugan the cop.
Dugan the cop.
Renee's a real sweetheart.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard I love Renee. That movie is something special, and Lil McConaughey too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so goddamn bizarre in that thing.
Well, he's bizarre in
I've
just
never
in
really
real
seen
life.
that. Oh yeah, he's bizarre in real life too, for sure. But just I've never really seen the whole thing.
No, really?
You're not missing much.
No, not a finished product. I mean, I had a work print that they sent me because I had to do some ADR.
Yeah.
But it still had time code on it, and it was unedited, and there was no color adjustment, and hell, I don't think it was any sound or anything.
I don't know. It's
Maybe.
it's such an odd film that was trying to get into that 90s serial killer craze that just it didn't work, but the remakes did, and that's why I was so pumped to see you in Texas Chainsaw 3D, because those are excellent. I absolutely love the newer ones. They're so good, and I
like 3D. I think there was a problem with the time frame, you know.
Oh, well, yeah. Because it was like prequel.
Which everybody bitched about. But, it's a matter of just, suspending your disbelief.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I love it. I love them. And like I said, it was cool having you back. And I guess that was kind of fun for you to go full circle,
How'd you get
Oh, yeah, it was great.
How did you get involved with that one, 3D?
Oh, they contacted me.
Oh.
They wanted Carl Mazzacone, who's an executive producer for Lionsgate. No, just Lionsgate. He's just a huge fan of the film and wanted to bring some original people back for cameo, little roles if he could,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he got me,
Gunner.
he got Gunner, and he got Marilyn. And who? Oh, Paul been dead for years.
He was just a corpse up against the wall.
What?
I thought Paul was in Maryland.
No, that was
Never mind.
that was the one with Renee Zellweger. Okay, so yeah, Paul Partain was in the one with Renee and Matthew.
Oh, I thought that's where you were.
Right.
But
You're one side.
and then Mosley from part 2.
Yeah.
Took over the role of Drayton.
Yeah.
Sawyer. And did an excellent job, So it was cool to all be together.
Yeah, I bet.
For a few days.
I bet, yeah.
So now has this, obviously now they're like, oh, well, you're you're the horror guy. Even, you know, we know you can do more than that. Does that bother you to be kind of niched in that way, or do you just embrace the hell out of it? and have
I'm just
fun?
glad to work, you know. I'll
Right.
do anything. I do a sitcom if you ask me to.
Yeah.
I would watch the shit out of a Sawyer family sitcom. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Grandpa.
God, wouldn't that be
Yeah.
funny?
Oh my God, I would watch it.
It has to be shot like an 80s sitcom though, like
Oh,
Full House or Who's the Boss.
Yeah.
Or,
3-camera video shoot.
Live studio audience has to be
Yeah.
alive. Anytime blood gets sprayed, there has to be laughter.
yeah.
Oh shit. Well, we're gonna wrap things up
I
here a
wish
little
somebody
bit,
would do
John,
that.
but I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about what kind of stuff you got coming up that we can look forward to see what you got in the future, because you know we've got people that love watching you and everything you do. So.
Okay, my most recent films out are, of course, Rock, Paper, Scissors,
Mm-hmm.
which have been out for a couple of years now. But it's available on all sorts of streaming sites and on DVD and Blu-ray and all that shit. Have you seen Deviant Behavior by any chance?
Have not seen that yet,
Yeah.
but I'm looking at
Haven't
the
got
list
around-
right
yeah.
here. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I can't believe you haven't seen it. That you have the balls to call me up to do this fucking thing here.
oh no.
You haven't even seen Deviant Behavior.
Oh no.
It's on my
What a
list.
couple of jagoffs.
Well, we're not
I've
going to
been
give you
called
any
worse.
cocaine either, so.
Yeah.
So, Deviant Behavior, and then I have coming up one film for sure in Texas after the first of the year called The Blues Man, which is about 90 minutes long.
Yeah,
It's
see
about-
that. About Robert Johnson's
It's
guitar,
about,
right? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
I play an old pawn shop owner in a small town in Texas who ends up
Nice.
with Robert Johnson's guitar, which has been stolen out of his grave
That's
I end
Oh,
up with
man.
Johnson, man.
in my safe. Yeah, and the devil comes around and wants his fucking guitar.
That's so cool. And Bill Mosley's in that as well. So that's
Bill Mosley,
yeah.
Ed Neal is in it.
Oh yeah.
And there's 4 of us from the Chainsaw franchise. Dwayne Whitaker
nice.
from he was in the 3rd, I think, Chainsaw 3, and he was he's best known for Pulp Fiction. He
Yeah.
played the pawn shop owner in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
You know, the sadist, the
Yeah.
fucking perverted
Yeah.
sadist guy.
Mhm.
Get the gimp.
Get
Yeah, get the camp. You know, and he's a good friend of mine too. Dwayne's a fucking trip, man.
That's awesome.
And he's a hell of an actor. I mean, just really good. So there's 4 of us from the Chainsaw franchise in there.
Well, we'll be
Which,
definitely
should be
checking
fun.
that out.
Yeah. When can we expect that again?
To see it,
Yeah.
oh, probably a year and a half or so from now, I would think.
Okay.
We're not going to be able to start shooting before the end of January, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, all
a
this
lot of stuff's
COVID
been
stuff.
getting pushed back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've been talking to Billy Pond about doing his new film called
That's an interesting
like
title.
Cowboys. It's about zombie cowboys or something. It's a western. It's a western with zombies. Yeah, I know.
No, I'm all about it.
So I haven't made a deal with him yet, but we've talked about that, and that would also be in Texas about the same time. So
Very
maybe
cool,
I could
man.
knock off 2 films
Yeah.
in one.
Are you gonna? I know this is gonna be coming out afterwards, but are you gonna be part of this Joe Bob Briggs?
Yeah.
Texas
That's
Chainsaw.
Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday. Look at my Facebook page, and there should be a link on there.
We'll do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
We'll push the hell out of that and share that. We love Joe.
Yeah,
Bugs.
it's going to be on Vimeo.
Vimeo,
I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a pay-per-view.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard about this. I'm a big fan of you and the film and Joe Bob. So
Friday, it's the commentary with the cast, and Saturday it's the commentary with the crew.
Oh, wow. That's going to be great.
Yeah. And Kim Henkel's on both of them. If you want to actually see, if you want to hear Kim Henkel and see him, because he's such a fucking recluse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he is. He just is.
Everybody is nowadays.
He's a kind of a private guy,
Yeah.
But, yeah, you should tune in to that.
Yeah, I got that
$20.
information. Yeah, I got it pulled up right here. We'll share that tonight.
$20 a night, or $30 for both nights.
Very cool.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
this will come out after that, but we'll still go ahead and push this because we'll be watching as well. So
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Cool, man. All right, well, we don't want to hold you too long since your wife's half naked. So
Yeah. We don't want to keep you away from that.
Oh, she's dressed now.
Oh, boo.
that means you got some work to do.
Yeah.
She took a shower, sitting down eating dinner.
Well, thank you so much, John, for letting us screw around and have a good time and talk to you about old questions and have fun talking about haircuts and all that crap.
And assholes.
Hey, you know what? I was thinking about, we were talking about that kid with the male pattern baldness haircut.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing that for this film when I play the old pawnbroker.
Oh, yes. Yes, please.
And doing, cutting my hair with male pattern baldness and doing the sides gray.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a nice head of hair though.
You got a nice coif.
Ain't that something? I'm almost 70 years old. Look at that.
Yeah.
You need gray.
Yeah.
My dad's walking with 3 hairs right now. That's what so you're killing him.
Does he take them and like swirl them all around his head like my dad did?
Yes. Oh my God. No, my dad has actually moved to where he just wears hats all the time. That's what he does now. He's 70.
My old man did this ridiculous fucking comb over thing. And it's like, who are you fooling?
Yeah, no, Dad
And
never
his-
did the
his-
comb overs though, but he
My
would
Uncle
shave
Billy,
the top.
my Uncle Billy, who was a dad's younger brother, who looked just like my dad, just started cutting his off real short,
Mm-hmm.
and just went ahead and went bald on the top and cut the sides short and everything. And my mom said, Uncle Billy looks nice. I said, yeah, mention that to Dad. She was like, what? I say, just mention that Dad just like the way Uncle Billy cuts his hair. And she goes, oh, good idea. So she casually, a couple days later, said, it was nice to see Bill and Jerry. Uncle Billy's hair sure looks great. 2 days later, my dad had a haircut. It worked.
Hilarious. That's hilarious, dude. Oh man. Well, again, John, thank you so much, and we'd love to have you come back on the show sometime, man.
Yes.
And talk with you down the road.
Thank you so much, guys. I really enjoyed it. You guys are a lot of fun, and anytime I got spare time and you have a spot, I'm glad to come.
We love it, man. We had an absolute blast, man. So much fun.
Okay. Thank you, man.
And with that, dear friends, we come to the end of another delightfully disturbing episode of Misters of the Dark. As always, thank you for listening. Thank you to the Fearscape Media Network. And thank you to Corey Adams and Ashley Jones-Adams from Nothing Wrong for our musical theme. Now, Mr. Dugan, we would be honored if you would... Stop that!
What? It wasn't my fault.
I suppose Mr. Dugan chopped off his own head and hurled the rest of his body on top of our grill by himself.
Accidents happen, Lance.
Accidents happen. Oh, Stefan.
You just need to get into the Christmas spirit, buddy, okay? Listen, I know this is, not the most appropriate time, but it would be a shame for all of him to go to waste.
Suppose it would. Oh, I can't stay mad at you.
Sweet, I'll go get the A1.
Ah, boy. But before we go, dear friends, I'll leave you with this. Cannibalism is a radical but realistic solution to the problem of overpopulation. Good night.